Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Coda. You get a name too, Podo.
I got good news and bad news, girls. The good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
You too? You got a boner too? Blue Steel.
Welcome, everybody, to another Q's and T's installment of the Unkind Rewind. Joined here by my co-host Sean McGrath, who is not in New York right now.
Yeah, you can't really hear the ambulances and the helicopter cops and people being set on fire.
I routinely do have to edit them out of your feed,
Yeah,
despite the fact that you live on like the 30-something floor.
Yeah, it's still very much like Tom Hanks in Big, his first night in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Just domestic entanglements.
This is before
things.
13-year-old Tom Hanks bangs a 35-year-old.
Yeah, he definitely has a pep in his step the next day, doesn't he? I mean,
Eesh.
it was probably a quick minute for her.
Yeah. Although he probably bounced back pretty hard.
He probably that was probably the first clue that he wasn't, say, 35.
Yeah. Oh, I'm ready to go like 4 minutes later.
Yeah.
Maybe not even.
The refractory period
Yes, refractory period.
of a 13-year-old.
Is that Elizabeth Perkins? I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah, it's probably going to come up.
Oh yeah, I'm certain it will.
It will come up on this here podcast at some point. Elizabeth Perkins, I believe, kind of a shithead John Hurd as her boyfriend.
The tracks, yeah.
And of course, a benevolent Robert Loggia. This is
Yeah,
a few years after being gunned down in Scarface.
sure. And a few years
but
before Innocent Blood.
Oh, I thought you were going to say OJ commercial, but
Yeah,
he does a great orange juice commercial. Yeah, Robert Loggia, and
that
I
is
don't
a
know.
legendary commercial.
Yes,
I don't know, maybe Robert Loggia? Or whatever the fuck the kid says because he won't listen to his parents and drink his orange juice.
Yes. Very easy to find that commercial if you have no idea. If you think that this is just like a Mandy fever dream that Josh and I are talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it might
not.
be.
It's not Cheddar Goblin, although it kind of feels like it should be.
Speaking of Mandy, I'm sure you didn't see this happen, but Eve Six follows me now on social media because on Blue Sky because someone tagged me in a post that they had said they had been asking why no one told them about Mandy, and of course I'm like the person that so many people know who was like proselytizing about Mandy.
I was going to call you a Mandy evangelical.
Oh yeah, definitely an evangelist for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just talking earlier today about Jackie's sister still hasn't seen it because Sam saw it twice in the theater when she was gone. So Sam's seen it twice, but Lauren has not. And I was like, "Hey, you want to come over?"
Sam
Yes,
being
her
husband
husband.
for her.
Yeah. Both Jackie's sister and my sister are married to Sam's, and they have had Sam offs before.
Yeah. It's probably it's a lifelong battle. Probably.
Yeah, it is.
When you have somebody like that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Mandy is good, man. You finally getting a little close to the recognition.
Right.
I don't know if does Cage have any social media himself?
No.
Yeah. He's far above that.
He doesn't. I'm not sure. I don't think that he has like access in his hands to the internet. Probably. I would be surprised. Honestly, he may not have a cell phone.
He may not know quite what the internet is too. Like it might be just something that like he heard about. Like Sam Raimi pitched it to him, and then he just kind of moved on.
Yeah, memes get shown to him.
Yes,
I know this,
right.
but I don't think that he has a way by which to have them randomly cross his eyes.
Yeah, and he's got an assistant or two who kind of keeps keeps him
Yeah,
abreast of those types of things. But he probably has a retired or dead Alaskan senator's understanding of the internet.
for sure, for sure.
That's a
And
deep cut
he's
right there.
still just trying to get a bridge built to nowhere, right?
Did we talk about Longlegs? What you thought of him in Longlegs?
I liked him. I saw it the one time. I wonder how much I'll like it on subsequent viewings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Do-
I think that the trick could wear thin pretty quickly.
He doesn't play. I mean, it's been a long time, I think, since he's kind of the very clear-cut bad guy. Like he
Yeah.
has played kind of, the anti-hero, of course. He's played,
Mhm.
the protagonist who's got a lot of baggage, but like the quote-unquote villain
Yeah.
is rare in his body of work. I mean,
Yeah, in the 90s he did it a little more.
yes, certainly Face Off.
There's Face Off. There's also not Red Rock West, but oh, shit. Why can't I think of the name of it? It's circa that time.
I'm sure it'll come to you in the middle of the night, but yeah, I mean, we don't talk too much about current movies. Longlegs was fine. I may have been optimistic it was going to be really good.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had sort of like it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, given the sort of
Yeah,
reaction that I had been consistently seeing. So,
yeah.
um, yeah. Oh, how have your holidays been? You're still on the road for those right now. We're recording this day after Christmas.
Yeah, festive and bright, warm. All the things. Haven't had.
No winter tornadoes. I know they have
No,
them
I
in
mean
Texas.
the real drama usually is getting out of New York.
Uh-huh.
So if I can kind of get out before the crowds descend, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have any problems. Didn't, I think American Airlines had a big kerfuffle on the
Yep.
23rd or 24th or something. It
It's
was,
23rd, I believe.
yeah, and the rollover from that can fuck
Yep.
non-American Airlines people quite a bit. So, yeah, I mean, luckily, God, knock on, need to find some wood here. Knock on anything. I haven't had those miserable kind of holiday experiences where where they have like people sleeping at baggage claim
Yeah.
and you just like local news shows up just to do like a nice pan and scan of like pure misery.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some pretty bad travel experiences, but I haven't had that.
Right.
What
And
about
so
Minnie?
you're
Are you
Minnesota's been fine. We've been hanging with Jackie's family for the last few days, and then tomorrow we're heading down to La Crosse. My sister took the family down there to be with her in-laws, and then obviously my brother lives there. So
she going to see a Sam's family?
yeah,
One of the Sam's.
Sam's family. Yeah.
A Sam's family.
Hopefully it's the right Sam. Maybe it won't be. Who knows? So yeah, I'll be down there for probably just a day or two. You know, pretty low key for the most part.
Okay. Did Santa stop
Aside from
by or
having
no?
No, I was
Oh,
skipped.
wow, shit.
Yeah,
Not even
so
Cole?
not even Cole.
I mean, Cole, I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's got some
with
use.
with the heating prices nowadays,
Oh
probably take
yeah.
some coal.
Yep.
Oh well,
Um,
next year maybe.
been with the whole fam then?
Yep, mom and dad and a stepdad. Luckily, they're not all living together, but
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
get to see both
Okay.
both tiers.
Is it weird to you to not have family in the city that you're in now?
Yes. Uh, so that's been a new adjustment. I'm very much an orphan in my
Yeah.
city now.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I was an orphan when I lived in
In
Portland for
Portland,
a
yeah.
long fucking time.
Hmm. It was honestly, it's been just a maybe not struggle, but it's been a weird adjustment to me having been gone for 18, 19 years, however long it was.
I bet you forget sometimes, right? You're like, oh yeah, like I can, like the people that created me is like not across the country anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's yeah, it's strange. Like, I mean, so many years like going home for the holidays just wasn't in the mix.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't going to happen. I didn't see my family on the holidays almost every year for probably at least a decade.
Uh, if I'm being honest, like when I go to Minnesota, you're always like one of the last people I think of like who I should let know that I'm about to be there. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, Josh lives there.
And I'm like the closest person you know to the fucking airport.
Yeah, which is very convenient. But also like I've known you, 2 decades plus,
Yeah.
but my
But
associations with you,
every other motherfucker you know in this city you've known for even longer.
even longer. But also like you're very much still a Texas association, you're an LA
Yeah.
association, mostly Texas.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean you've been there, 3, 4 years now, something like that. And it's still, I mean, that's just my brain kind of playing catch up. I'm like, oh yeah,
I mean,
okay,
half the time I don't even think I live here, so.
yeah. I mean that's something for the therapist.
Uh-huh. Um we don't have a ton because the episode dropped like right before Christmas.
Hmm.
Just as a podcaster for what four? I think this is the fifth Christmas.
Well, it would be
Yeah,
for Chris.
no, this is the fifth Christmas that I've podcasted during to see like traffic die off at the holidays. So like
Yeah.
I know that people don't have the time that they usually have to listen to podcasts during this like couple of weeks. So there's always like a dip and then it like comes back up as people catch up.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've seen a little bit of a dip in activity on CQ as well.
yeah.
People
Well,
just
you guys just had your what 2 year anniversary?
2 year Cinequote anniversary, yeah. And haven't missed a game, haven't missed a day, haven't taken a day off,
Hmm.
which I don't know how that's possible, but you know what it's like, the grind.
Yeah.
Um,
To have for the first time taken time off on Munch My Benson.
yeah,
Uh
it's
it's weird. It's
um
freeing. I don't
well, there's always that like, well, we could probably take a couple of weeks off, but like in my paranoia,
You
I'm like, well,
can't.
that's gonna
In a
be
day-to-day game, that's the death of the game.
yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
the time where, you know, some slick haired executive is like, oh well, I went to the thing and it was down, said you on vacation, and so I lit a cigar with $1,000 bill and said, forget them. And
Yeah.
again, that's
I mean, that's not the likely thing. It's just you'll if you don't do it, people aren't going to know that you came back.
yeah. I mean, I really wish I could just kind of well, maybe I haven't really done this for the last week or so because I didn't anticipate the dip. Maybe I should have, but like it should just be like the dregs of cinema. Like it should really be just an awful, awful week. I mean,
I'd posit that today's game was that, but
it was pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, and this will be posted by the time it's dead. But today, you know, I was like we did a Christmas movie on Christmas. I thought we should do a Hanukkah movie on Hanukkah. We did Eight Crazy Nights, the
aware.
animated Adam Sandler Hanukkah movie.
Mhm.
Can you think of a more, a dearth of Hanukkah options? I mean, I can't think of too many movies kind of focused on that.
Or there is a dearth
There is a
of it.
dearth. Yeah, there's a dearth of Hanukkah movies.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, we'll just do that. Oh, it was brutal to go through.
Yeah.
I hope
You,
you haven't seen it.
I've not. I figured it out after I was like, oh, that's Adam Sandler, and this is clearly animated, so I got it on the second one, but
It's bad.
I didn't feel good about it.
No.
Although
I
if I hadn't got it, my streak, I just sent it to somebody who one of my buddies, Greg, not the Greg that'll be a guest coming up, but one of my other buddies, Greg, sent me his screenshot of his like stats. And he's like, this is pretty good, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's like 92% win
That's
percentage,
great.
you know? That's great.
Really great. Yeah.
Really great. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's really good. Every time I talk to somebody, they're like, you've got to be kidding me when when they see mine. Because I'm at 98.82%. I've lost 8 games and I've played 670. I've played 679 and only lost 8.
There are some people who get maybe 1 or 2 a week on Cinequote, and I think you miss 1 or 2, every 6 months? Is that
my
kind of the
current
average?
win streak's at 82.
Jesus Christ.
That's like my 3rd best win streak. My best is 212.
Wow. Well, if you think you know movie quotes, you think you can rival Josh Dugan here,
Please step up to the plate.
good luck. Cinequote.
I got a stats card I've got a stats card to prove it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at 99 aces right now.
Yeah, I mean you were able to get not affiliated with aces, but you were able to deduce ace in the hole. Wow.
Yeah. On the second guess.
That was like a major streak killer.
Oh yeah, no, I smoked
major.
that. I've seen it in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, again, you realize you are
a freak.
Like a freak on this stuff.
Yeah.
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 So.
And I've aced movies that I've never seen.
Yeah, because you know, context clues, and that's kind of the idea of the game. We don't.
Yeah.
We want you to be able to go like, oh yeah, that movie with Marilyn Monroe, and she's got the skirt or whatever and the vent. I haven't seen that, but yeah.
No, I aced. I've never seen Friday.
Yeah, well,
and aced that.
You know what Chris Tucker's voice sounds like?
I don't think it was Chris Tucker in the first clue.
Oh, you got it.
I think it was a woman. It was a woman, but I was like, this sounds like it would be in what I imagined Friday to be.
Yeah, she was like a
door-to-door salesman or something.
I think she was talking about Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, she was met with a,
stern response,
like cursing of some sort, and anyway,
yeah.
So we haven't got a ton of feedback on Cloak and Dagger yet because that's the way this works. If you're listening to this and have just listened to Cloak and Dagger, we can get that into the next Q's and T's episode. So,
that was a fun episode.
That goes for any of the older episodes. Like,
yeah, sure.
If you're doing it out of, or if you're catching up, by all means.
If you hear this now, if you're listening now and you're like, hey, we actually haven't heard the, I don't know, Brainstorm or the Cocoon or Labyrinth, go back and listen to Labyrinth. I mean, that was like 10 years ago.
We recorded that pretty much about a year and 2 weeks ago, because I know we were recording with Leon for the second episode right now, because we're doing this again. You're recording from Atlanta, and we tried to record from Atlanta last time with Leon, and it was like right now. I remember we had to reschedule for like January 2nd.
I didn't have my fancy like telemarketing setup that I have right now.
Yeah. I feel like Sean is calling me from Bangalore.
Yeah, I have the headset with the mic that swivels down, so it's very much like a Nintendo Power Club.
Yeah,
where people are like, kids are calling me asking how to beat like Ganon.
This is not the first time that the Power Club has been mentioned.
Nobody,
on this podcast.
I'm sure. I'd be shocked if most people like our age still remember the Power Club, and certainly if you're born, after like 88, you're dead. Like, there's no way you're gonna know.
No way, you're not gonna understand what that is.
It was a 1-900 number that you would call, and you'd have nerds at probably a Washington State call center answer your questions about how to beat levels or find items in Nintendo games. I think they made like some propaganda video showing how cool it was to work there, but it was probably just awful.
It was probably been the worst.
Yeah, just drudgery. It shows up in the movie The Wizard. I think that he actually calls one of these.
The Wizard, of course, being the movie that was brought to you by the Power Glove.
Yeah. A propaganda movie from Nintendo.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't. Yeah, that was a little surprising. We haven't done the Wizard on this yet.
I mean, it'll happen. I think it's
It'll
even
happen.
been on a list, but I've actually got the list in front of me. Let me see if it's anywhere on here. If it was on anyone's, I'd think it would be on. No, it's not. Okay.
Well, we get to talk about Jenny Lewis when that comes up.
Yep. Yep. And Christian Slater.
And yeah, and one of my
Your favorite bridges?
not one of my favorite bridges, but one of my favorite things to rag on in film is when you have an actor who's never played a video game in their life
Yeah.
trying to pretend like they play video games.
Mm.
It's very similar to like when
So you're saying that Beau Bridges never played a video game?
but like not like he's being bad on the video game on screen. Like he's actually like doing well and he's talking about like I got to get the level up potion or
Yeah.
something. It's like, dude, you'd be running into the left side of the screen, not understanding that the game moves linearly, like on a linear
Linearly.
linear. I can't say it. To the right, like fucking
Yeah.
Mario Brothers. He would be
Right.
jamming his character in the left side of the screen. But yeah, man, that comes up a lot in movies where it's like, oh, they have to be playing a video game, but we're not going to
Mhm.
take the 15 minutes to kind of explain how it works. You see this come up sometimes when a character needs to run, like maybe long distance, and they aren't a long distance runner.
Yeah.
It's quite noticeable. They're like doing the big
I critique running form a lot.
yeah.
Like 40,000 beers ago, I was a runner,
Mhm.
and
Josh and I
yeah.
ran together.
Did we?
Yeah.
The fuck? I don't even
I know.
remember this.
Yeah. We ran on like that river run.
Okay. All right, this is ringing a vague bell.
Josh and I did semi mid distance running
Yeah,
Uh,
I used to run cross country in high school.
moons ago, many moons ago. But not to bag on poor Robin Wright, especially after the dreadful Ron Howard movie. But her character had to run long distance in House of Cards a lot. Like
Wait,
Claire.
when you say dreadful Ron Howard movie, do you actually mean dreadful Robert Zemeckis movie?
Oh yes, thank you for correcting me.
Same
I don't know if-
difference.
I don't know
It
if
feels
Ron
like a
Howard's-
Ron Howard movie, but it's a Robert Zemeckis movie.
Yeah. I don't know if Ron Howard and Robin Wright have worked together. Nothing's coming to mind right now.
Oh, they have to have.
Yeah, I'm sure
There's just no way that it has.
we'll be corrected. But she was her character Claire Underwood. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's wife on that show would do a lot of long distance running with the like T1000 blade hands. You know what I'm talking? Like
Mhm.
a really, really, really awful way to do any kind of long distance running. That's like sprinter form.
Yeah. No, that's you're running 100. Maybe
You're
two-
running
maybe
100
200.
meter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one thing that I kind of bag on in movies. And like Josh probably has his,
Oh,
cliches and tropes that drive him crazy. Usually with stuff that you know about. Are you confirming that Ron Howard and Robin Wright have never worked together?
That is what I'm doing.
You had that look in your eyes.
Yeah, God damn it, look. Yeah, that's. I
don't think they have.
That's fucked
Yeah.
up.
No.
They both make bad movies, and I'm shocked
They
they haven't.
they
worked
both
together.
have
They both
made
have.
good
They
movies.
both make bad movies that are masquerading as serious movies.
They both have made good movies. They just don't make good movies. Her performance in Unbreakable is great. Her Princess Bride is great,
Yeah.
and her role as her performance as Jenny is really great.
Her performance in Toys is great.
Oh, fucking toys! Oh man, it's certainly her.
Sorry, I've got her
Yeah, she didn't crush it in
filmography in front of me.
and She's the Lovely.
No. Or is it Here? That's the movie where she's banging
It's-
her. No, it's not here. It's
I think I called it Home, but yeah, the movie's called Here.
Adoration.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Adoration is the movie where she and Naomi Watts bang the other's kids.
Okay, so like,
Yep, that's it's set in Australia.
so like a whole like Pornhub genre, basically.
But not at all. It's
Yeah, that's too bad.
yeah. Anyway,
she's still welcome on the show. Anyway, what episode we got coming up? Let's talk about that maybe.
Yeah. So we'll be joined by Summer, who I believe has new socials. I emailed Summer to tell her to call into our call-in line.
Yeah,
which is
everybody should do that.
Yeah, everyone should do it. Phone number is 507-479-6440. So hopefully Summer has done that and has
call in,
me
threaten
an
us. Use a different voice.
Summer from the future here, and by the future I mean the morning that this episode's going live, because I'm doing this last minute. Gotta update my socials, because when we recorded and when now it is, my handles have changed a bit. My Twitch is still twitch.tv/Saint Ridley. My Blue Sky is now ts-elliot.bsky.social. My Twitter is at @ts_Elliot_. Instagram is @_ts_Elliot. I also have a Fansly now. If you like giving trans people money so they can afford facial feminization surgery and other healthcare stuff, but you don't want to just give it to them for giving it to them, you can get nudes instead. That is ts_Elliot. I also have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. All those are Saint Ridley, SAINTRIDLEY. If you feel like just giving me money, that works too. I'll be on Twitch later, probably tonight and next week's episode night, because I want to play some Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocking. So, yeah, that's my plugs. I don't have much else. Summer out. Bye.
So Summer emailed after the main event and said that she derped hard. Literally every mention of one of the subsequent movies should have been one of the other subsequent movies in the series. The actual fifth one that she was describing.
That's so coded. Like, I can't even follow that.
So, God damn it. Okay, so this is the last movie that we are doing where the guest knew what movie we were doing before.
After this point, the guest gets notified of the movie we choose
when we're on mic with them.
In the moment. Yeah. So, but Summer is our swan song, where the movie we selected, Josh and I plotted, was revealed to the guest ahead of time.
Yes. And so I guess since there's this bit of information, I should name what the movie is.
Go ahead.
The movie is The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2.
JP2.
And so literally every mention of Jurassic World Dominion should have been Fallen Kingdom, the actual fifth movie, and the one that she was describing. She managed to not only get it wrong while watching it, but while taking notes and referring to it throughout.
All right. Well, let's just like.
And I cannot correct anyone on that because I give so few fucks about the Jurassic World movies.
Okay, if you really give a lot of fucks about what the subtitles of the recent Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies are called, then by all means call in and fucking set us straight.
Yeah, please.
We're glad to hear about it.
Call in lines there. It'll make it to air.
Even if the numbering is wrong, like JP 5, Jurassic Park 7, whatever, we don't give a shit. So I love that.
There are things that we'll be pedantic and about and actually care about.
This is not one of them.
Yeah, the subsequent Jurassic Park movies, past the first one, not part of that thing we care about.
It does make me laugh a little bit that Summer cares, and
Summer does care.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you'll find out in the main event next week that neither Sean nor I cared about this movie at all. It's like, I don't think that it means that it wasn't fun, but man,
it's like ascribing the kind of contender or opponent of Rocky Balboa to each Rocky movie. Like, that's important to me.
Sure.
I don't know. We haven't talked to Summer about it, but like, probably not important to a lot of people. That Clubber Lang. It's
important to Tasha. Tasha Crawford.
Okay,
Rest for You Pod definitely cares.
Tasha does care. And Tasha would know that Tommy Gunn. Was
Rocky
5. Yeah. And then, God, I can't really remember. I know that it was Antonio Tarver, who was the first time like a boxer was actually playing a character in Rocky Balboa. Do you remember the character's name? I think it was like Antonio Tarver or Julio Tarver, but I think it was a real boxer.
I don't remember. It was a real boxer.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So funny that Summer cared.
But you just said like the correction, and I'm not going to get them right ever.
Never. No. I have already forgotten because like the Zoom window is in front of that email now. Yeah. No idea. I honestly maybe don't even know the names of the like subtitles of Jurassic Worlds 2 and 3.
Yeah. Well, I think we're just following Ian Malcolm's chaos theory on this.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. So
so you two don't get to take up dinosaurs.
I gotta get Robin Wright's face out of my face. I can't keep looking at her. Okay, so I guess without further ado, I assume Summer socials have been thrown in here because I assume Summer called in
via magic.
Yeah, we're traveling through a time machine to have put that in, and without further ado, Summer on her past with the Lost World Jurassic Park. I even called it Jurassic Park 2. It's not. It doesn't have a numerical designation. That's how little I cared about this movie.
Was this a Spielberg or was this a Joe Johnson?
Spielberg.
This was Spielberg. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure we talk about that.
We sure do. But yes, Summer.
Enjoy.
Welcome, everybody, to another teaser installment of the Unkind Rewind. This week, we are getting to know our next guest, Summer. Summer, since not all of the audience knows you, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hi. So, Summer, if you have been a fan of Josh's work on Munch My Benson, you probably know me, at least by name. Mm-hmm. I am occasionally mentioned, friend of the pod. I've been on an episode, the episode about the episode Transgender Bridge. I don't remember what y'all called that episode, but
it was a very long one too.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me into, so for obvious reasons, the reason I was on that episode is I'm trans and can lend a little bit of a trans person's perspective on that. Been on estrogen for almost 2 years now. I don't know, what do you want? Just like a general rough kind of.
Yeah, just so I guess since we focus so much on this about the life you would have been living when you would have been watching the movie, I guess download us a little on what your life was like when you were watching The
Yeah.
Lost World.
Yeah. So I was an army brat growing up.
Okay.
We lived in Puerto Rico at the time that I saw the movie. My dad got stationed there because the army assumed that he spoke Spanish because his last name is Santos and his family's from Puerto Rico, but my dad was never taught Spanish by his father. So, uh, no. So we lived on a Coast Guard base in Puerto Rico. I'm I have to imagine there was some kind of delay between the mainland getting it and Puerto Rico getting the movie because I looked it up and the mainland got the movie in like May of 97. I distinctly remember us getting the theater on base for the movie for my birthday that November.
Okay.
So
That's quite the delay there, but you did see it in the theater.
I saw it in theater. It was my birthday party. One of my friends couldn't come because it was PG-13 and his mom was very religious. And I was a giant dinosaur nerd. Like the only reason I didn't pick the original Jurassic Park is A, I'm 100% sure I've seen it more recently, and two, who hasn't seen it more recently because it's actually good.
Sure. Yeah, there's that. Oh, for anyone who wants to listen, it was episode 135 you're on, which is still
On the
it shouldn't
backlog?
be it shouldn't be
It shouldn't
behind
be
a
archived.
paywall by
Yeah.
the time this drops, because this will be
Yeah.
season 2, but I think it should
Okay.
still be fine. But yeah, it was 135. Only SVU is able to backdoor in some kiddie porn. Yeah.
Yes, that's right, because
Yeah.
they did.
They sure did.
Good job, SVU.
Yeah, way to go.
So yeah, I mean, like nowadays, like I've been an English professor. I've, studied the art of like literary and film analysis. I have done legal writing. I'm a pharmacy tech now. Like my life has taken me in all kinds of strange places, but I've never lost my love of dinosaurs
Okay, right on.
because they're just cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have all that much to plug, but when we get to plugs
Sure,
and stuff, like I can say some things. But
Right.
are you drinking anything?
I'm just drinking a Diet Coke because I have to pick up my brother at the airport in like 2 hours. And
Fair enough.
and Adam and I are recording tonight, so I also I have to drink then, but
Yeah,
not yet.
I've got a vodka and Starry.
Nice. So memory can be a tricky thing. Having not rewatched The Lost World, Jurassic Park in ages, can you briefly describe what you remember the basic plot of the movie being? I don't need like a
Right.
dissertation, but like
Yeah.
no more than a minute or two.
Okay. The basic plot is, oh no, there was a second island where they raised the dinosaurs in the
Okay.
first place before moving some of them to the park. Jeff Goldblum's back. He has a daughter, apparently. She does gymnastics. That isn't going to become important later, not at all. Stuff goes wrong with poachers, and then there's a fun scene where also the poachers are trying to take a baby T-Rex, and the T-Rex parents are not happy about that. They do some really fun stuff, which is probably the highlight of the movie. And then somehow we end up making it to like LA or something, and we've got a small dino rampage of a T-Rex in LA, and this is never brought up in any of the later movies for some reason.
So I guess they're deciding they needed a memory hole this.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they take a T-Rex to the mainland and it eats someone's dog with the doghouse like dangling from its mouth, but that's pretty funny. It's weird. It's a weird movie.
You're telling me, I've never seen this. You're telling me that it went to LA makes me think of Predator 2. So I'm hoping they were taking cues from that wild success. So you obviously saw this in the base theater. Was this something that you owned later?
Yeah,
Okay.
when it came out on VHS, we got the nice VHS copy with like the holographic
Okay.
box, and I may own it on Blu-ray as part of like a Jurassic Park slash World collection.
But this is one that you've not seen since your youth.
Maybe college.
Okay, sure,
I
sure, sure.
rewatched it like
Mhm.
then, I think, once, but I don't remember really.
Right, right. If you were watching it then, there was a better chance that you were maybe not paying attention as much or as tuned in. What do you think you were? What do you think you were like when this was a fixture of your youth?
Oh man, when I would have watched this, I watched this for my 9th birthday. So I it's odd to look back because I've got like the kind of like trans filter of
Sure.
like, oh, how much of my memory of who I was is even accurate to who I was? And like, I hadn't started puberty yet. So, like, I think I was probably just a fairly well adjusted enough kid. Still loved dinosaurs. I think at this point I'd moved on from maybe wanting to be a paleontologist, which I wanted when I was, like 4, and watched the first Jurassic Park. But like, I think I was, thinking stuff along the lines of, well, maybe marine biologist or something. Like everyone has a marine biologist phase, I feel like. Everyone's just like whales are cool.
Yeah, yeah. Or dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I wasn't really super aware of the world yet. The, we were still in the 90s, so things were relatively good and existential dread didn't seep into every corner of life. Like, I know I'm a little bit younger than you and the other, the other hosts. So like that I think is a fun bit of perspective I bring is I come from a slightly younger set of the millennial generation.
Yeah, because we're cuspers. We're technically I'm technically Gen X.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything in common with Gen X or with millennials. So
yeah. Like I remember like 97 was still before I knew what the internet was. Like
Sure.
I didn't know what the internet was. A computer was a thing I played games on and ignored the lessons about home row.
Yeah. So Sean and I are both like we would have been seniors in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 97, I think.
Yeah,
third grade, fourth grade, depending on when in 97.
Sure. So what? Well, I guess I'm assuming that as a child you liked the first Jurassic Park more than the second one, or am I wrong in that assumption?
As a child, I mean, I loved the first Jurassic Park because it was a perfect movie. It was everything. It still is everything. I really liked this one as a kid because dinosaurs. I hadn't developed a critical evaluation kind of way of thinking. Like I did think that Jeff Goldblum's daughter doing gymnastics to escape velociraptors was really silly and tonally weird, but I didn't have that vocabulary to describe it as like not fitting the tone of the movie was not a thing I knew how to express. I was just like, okay, that's the part I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. That's awesome because now I'm getting the sense that it's also in addition to taking cues from Predator 2 is maybe taking cues from Gymkata, which would be amazing. I can't imagine that's actually the case, but who knows?
You've never seen this one?
I've never seen this, no.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised I picked
No,
a movie you haven't seen.
Well, Sean and I routinely will go with stuff one of us hasn't seen. I'm sure Sean's seen this, but
yeah, I was just thinking with my
has.
list. I was thinking with my list that this would be one that you guys would have seen. Like this would be one that you might pick because it's relatively available. But
that is why we chose, or that's one of the reasons we chose it. But I haven't seen it, and this came out during like the peak 5 years of my most pretentious
film
movie. Yes,
snob.
Yeah. So like from junior year of college junior year of high school through college, I basically was like, I'm not going to any fucking blockbusters. I'm like, if it was a Best Picture nominee, I would go.
Yeah,
that was it. Like,
and this certainly was not that.
It was not that. It was. I would assume it's nominated for special effects Oscars, but I haven't looked into it.
It might have been.
I would be shocked if it wasn't. But
it's a good question.
We'll talk about.
We'll look at that next week. Next episode.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, this came out in the. That's what I'm when we've gotten lists from younger guests. It's definitely a. Oh yeah, we're way older. Like some of them, it's like. I wouldn't have fucking seen that. Like I was a fucking, I was a grown up when that movie came out. I'm not seeing that. This is a little different because this isn't a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Though obviously it's,
it kind of
PG-13 that's geared towards kids. But
especially 90s PG-13 movies, like we were no longer in the heyday of like 80s PG-13 where you're getting like
it's almost an R.
We're getting where you're getting nudity and like actual like not quite R-rated but steamy enough stuff.
Yeah, and I mean this is also Spielberg directed this, right? I'm almost positive he did.
He did the first. I don't know if he did the second.
Pretty sure this is the like one of the biggest warts on his resume.
Yeah, he did. All right. Yep.
Yeah. So what memories do you have that stick out most about the Lost World Jurassic Park? This could range from personal experiences, hanging out with a friend group watching it. I mean, could be the birthday party.
Yeah, the fact that this was my 9th birthday party, like I genuinely do not remember any of my birthday parties like as a kid other than this one. Okay. I didn't know what a golden birthday was at the time. So like I had no reason to mark this as particularly significant toward other birthdays, but this movie hit right at that time. I was still, a kid super into dinosaurs. I got to have a bunch of my friends come watch the movie. We had the theater. I could go into the projection room if I wanted.
Okay.
Which was neat. I think I did like just kind of to check out the projection room.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're a kid, like you get to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah, it was wild. It was fascinating, and because film was still film, like it's a completely different thing now, and like that's the only time in my life that I ever did go back there. So it's the only time in my life I'll ever really have that opportunity to see the film reel rolling.
Sure. I mean, unless you go to like a revival house very specifically, yeah.
Or someone hooks up like their own film reel at home for like a thing. But yeah, this was one of those movies where like it has as much as I am willing to look at it and go, that probably wasn't very good, I enjoyed it a lot, and it holds a very special and dear place in my heart.
Yeah. I mean, like anything, you're like revisiting a movie doesn't necessarily mean that even if you don't like it this time, that it'll like erase or denigrate those movies or those memories in any way.
No, and because memory is such a weird and wonderful thing. It's it's constantly rewriting itself. It's constantly overlaying the current onto it, and like I've known the movie's not good for a long time, but I still love it.
Yeah. I guess so. What was the base theater like? Because I'm assuming it's not like any standard.
It was a small little theater. It just had like one cinema in it. Just not a lot going on. Not a huge space. Like it could hold maybe 60 people or so. Okay. It wasn't that big, but it's where I saw movies at the time because otherwise I'd have to go across the island to San Juan. Sure. And like we had to go to San Juan if we wanted to go to a Walmart. So
yeah.
It was a small little Coast Guard base. Not very big. It was just kind of a little rinky-dink one cinema theater that did the job well enough.
Was it inclined floor and normal movie theater seats, or?
I think okay. I think that it was. It wasn't like totally like ramshackle.
Sure. Yeah. No, I just wasn't sure. Because I think.
Maybe there were two cinemas in there. I don't know. But like,
I think of a movie
got the
theater
whole
on
thing
a
to
base,
ourselves.
I think of like folding chairs or something,
Yeah.
Because I think of World War II, or I think of what you would see in the movies. Or something.
It was like it was like a movie theater. Like the seating, was movie theater seats, standard for the time.
Sure. Not the really
fancy ones that you can see nowadays in some places.
So I guess what expectations do you have for your return to the Lost World Jurassic Park?
I am expecting, honestly, I think I feel like I'm probably going to be surprised in some ways by like either the level of violence meeting or exceeding what I'm expecting based on my memories of it and the first movie, or falling short. One of the two. I feel like I'm not going to land exactly where I think the violence is. Like I remember the opening scene of this movie pretty well, and the blood, the little creek turning red. I remember that. Like there are bits like that I remember strongly, but I don't know. I think maybe the amount of time given to some things like gymnastics and such will be what surprises me. It's been forever. Like I remember the girl being like, "Hi, Dad," and like doing like a little thing, and then later on, oh, she does parallel bars to escape the velociraptors and uneven parallel bars, and it's like, well, okay. I'm not sure if there's more of that. I kind of hope there isn't.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if there is, and I've memory hold it.
Sure. Do you think you're gonna like the movie?
I think the inner child in me is going to like it. Okay. I think the adult with critical thinking faculties is going to go, wow. I really need to turn off my brain and just eat the popcorn.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to get through this one. And I think that's kind of where the split is. Like the inner kid is going to be so happy to be revisiting this, and the adult is going to be, well, it can't be worse than Jurassic World Dominion, right? We're gonna have to talk a little about Dominion in the second episode here, because
is that the newest one?
I think that was the newest one.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I watched that. I watched the second Jurassic World on the premise from the trailer of a T-Rex roaring at a lion, and that was just the closing shot, and I was annoyed at that. And then I was really hoping we'd get more Mosasaur, and we didn't in Dominion.
Yeah.
The Mosasaur was the best thing Jurassic World did, and it fumbled.
Yeah, I can't say I wanted to see the newer one. Jurassic World was fine, but I didn't need to.
Yeah, it had the same issue. This is getting into the next episode territory,
yeah,
but it's the same issue as Force Awakens. It's just the
Recycled,
original movie of the first trilogy again.
Sure, right. Well, Summer, before we let you go, what or where can our listeners find you?
I'm on Twitter, San Translator. I'm on Blue Sky, Saint Ridley. I'm on twitch.tv/Saint Ridley. I occasionally stream video games there. In the Munchcast Discord. You'll see me, you'll know me if you see my name there, because I do pop in now and again and just say things, drop memes like this great The Last Dad meme that I made this morning.
I loved it.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't really have a lot to plug. Like, I might someday eventually have like an OnlyFans or a Fansly or something, but just trans girl trying to survive type things.
Right. Yeah.
So, Twitch is probably, if you want to help a trans girl survive, go to Twitch, subscribe to me. My Cash App and Venmo are also Saint Ridley. Like, I don't know, am I allowed to just be like, here's my Cash App and Venmo, please send me money? Maybe
they're on your thing.
No one's gonna do it. I'm not worried about anyone actually doing it, but I'll put it out there.
Sure. Well, I don't know that I'm looking forward to actually watching the movie, but I'm looking forward to recording next week's episode.
Yes, I am too. It's gonna be fun. I've been enjoying the podcast so far. You said this is gonna be season 2.
Yeah, this will be season 2. We just wrapped season 1. Yeah.
Okay, so how many episodes in a season?
We're gonna do 10 movies a season.
10 movies a season. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so
this will be the 12th or 13th that we'll record, depending on where we can fit everybody in for I know we've done the first 2 pre-interviews for season 2. I've got another one in the works.
So I mean, if so we're about halfway through season 1 now. Then I've been enjoying them. I just want to say, man, I remember watching Cocoon as a kid on TV once and being way too young to really get it, and really wishing I could watch it now as an adult. Just wishing it was easy, but I will get a hold of watching that.
I'll tell you off mic what it's on. Yeah.
And Night of the Creeps was one that I was like, how have you never heard of this? Come on.
Never.
I love
I didn't have cable growing up, though.
Right, yeah. I love weird horror movies like that. That would absolutely have been one of my picks had it not been one of the first episodes.
Sure, yeah. It's weird. I didn't have cable, so there's certain things that's just I never saw it. I mean, I've seen a fuckload of stuff, but usually when I go back and watch things on my own, I'm watching pulpy 70s stuff more often than not, or 80s, but more action oriented.
Yeah.
So weird fucking late period Charles Bronson movies or something.
Yeah. I've been on a kick lately with just mid 2000s to 10 range, like really bleak horror movies, like Martyrs, the French version.
Okay.
And just so good. No one should watch that movie. It's absolutely like soul destroying. I cannot in good conscience recommend it to a person to watch, but it is fantastically done at being soul destroying.
Yeah. On that note,
we're gonna eventually watch a soul destroying dinosaur movie.
Yeah. Well, thank you for potentially opening up your childhood to ruination.
For the
sake of podcasting.
I'm looking forward to it, and I am happy to keep opening my childhood up for more ruination.
Sure.
I sent a whole list, and
I've got your list on our log.
You mentioned, during one episode, actually the first 2 episodes, you were shitting on Joling Coling Rolling, and I'm like, well, if you ever need an extra guest host on someone doing the Harry Potter movies, your girl's here.
I hate the first 2 so much, and those would probably be the ones that would come up. But
those are the ones I like best.
They're terrible
for so many reasons. I like them best.
Oh man! Anyway,
at least as far as I remember, but we're getting off track.
Yeah. We're getting far afield of. Anyway, next week, Lost World, Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts, kids. Thank you for joining us, Summer.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. It's good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Indeed.
Looking forward to the next recording, and also just next time you happen to roll a very trans-centric episode on the Munch My Benson.
Yeah, yes, we'll definitely keep you in mind. Yes. But yes, thank you.
Of course.
You've just listened to another installment of the Unkind Rewind podcast, mining and potentially ruining your childhood for content, one film at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcast production and can be ingested wherever you listen to podcasts and on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as @UnkindRewindPod on nearly every social media platform, all of which are available at our website, unkindrewind.com. If you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to another Unkind Rewind.